the way you listen to music is different. Because I like, man, when I would buy an album, I was going through the liner notes, I was looking for the lyrics, I was reading the personnel. Sometimes they would make little jokes in the liner notes and shit, and that
It's,
whole experience is gone.
it's gone, dude. And on the side, like I've been collecting cassettes and listening to music on cassettes on a cassette player, and just to look at the inserts for the liner notes itself, I'm like, they don't have this shit anymore or any
Yeah.
of this. This is all forgotten about. All these people.
Why have you been listening to cassettes? I've seen you posting that a lot on Facebook.
A lot of music was made on cassette or made on tape. A lot of music was made on tape. Obviously, all of it up until 90 something. And a cassette is the closest thing they made it to be on cassette. So you listen to it, maybe you listen to it a billion times on Spotify and it gives you some kind of feeling. When I listen to these tapes, it gives me a nostalgia of what it was when I was a kid and how it makes me feel. It has a totally different vibe.
I watched a YouTube video today from guy Rick Beato. He's got like 4 million subscribers on YouTube, and he was talking about music, and he was saying like how like why does so much modern music suck? And he was saying he did this whole. There's a ton of reasons. It was an awesome video, but one point he was like, as a listener, it's so easy now. He's like, back in the day, man, if you wanted Blizzard of Oz, go mow some lawns, and then you had to go to the, had to earn the money. You had to go to the
Yeah.
store. You had to spend your money, and then you
Yeah.
had to buy it. And even like for a cassette, I mean, listening to a cassette is friggin' work, right? You got to put it in. You got to
Yeah, you
flip
have
it,
to listen to the whole album.
right?
You're forced to listen to the whole album. Even if you hate the song, you wind up loving it after 2 weeks listening to it.
Right, because you can't just be like F it. Like even with a CD, we could just be like, I don't like
Yeah.
that song, and just skip it.
But that's the lost part of albums on cassette. Like I'm saying, they made albums that sound good on cassette,
Okay.
you know, and I think everything that I have on cassette was made by tape in the recording studio.
Okay.
That's why it has a different sound. Everything's so compressed. Even CDs, man, when they came out, so compressed. And then it just compressed more as technology went on. And now we have a product on Spotify that's just, I don't know, tight as a
Right.
drum.
Well,
you know?
that's what Rick Beato was saying was instead of having to like put some sweat equity into it to spend your hard-earned money for an album, now for $10, 10.99 a month, for less than a CD would cost, you can access any friggin' thing you want to. So it's just so casual when you listen. Like, people rarely sit down and don't do anything else and just put headphones on and just listen to some music. And he was saying people like, that's how us old people used to do it, and that's what you should do.
He's right.
Yeah, I mean, how much shit that we listen to just on headphones and we're not doing something else. You're like, oh my God, it's such a different
Oh, yeah.
experience. Like listening to some of these Ozzy songs, the difference, like the two different versions with headphones on, I could absolutely friggin' hear it. But I was like,
Absolutely.
if I'm just doing crap around the house and casually, I probably wouldn't pick it up.
Like I'm listening to my cassettes on a stereo and I have 4 speakers, but it doesn't catch all those little things that maybe you'll catch on a CD or everything because it's so compressed. Tape doesn't pick up that little cymbal bell or some shit on a stereo. Maybe on a headset with a tape deck, but I'm listening in a different experience right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, you're just the listening experience, the process of listening to music has just changed so much in the last 20 years.
It sucks. It sucks,
So
dude.
my wife and I have like a 1980 Corvette, and it's got an updated radio in it with like a CD updated, meaning like from the mid 90s. One of those like Pioneer with the face that comes off. And
Nice.
it's on our list of shit to do with. We're gonna put we're gonna go find an original tape deck and put it back in the car because we want to experience it the way that car was made for listening.
Exactly.
The speakers
exactly.
The speakers are tinny as shit, and that's what we want. We want the original sound.
Exactly. The original sound that they made the album to sound like.
All right, even the speakers sound like shit because they're 45 years old, but it's like that's that's
Yeah.
what that car came with, and that's what we're doing.
Sure.
So,
I think that's rocking. It looks great as shit when you go down the street blasting like White Snake.
oh yeah, we do it all the time. So, oh, dude, it was so funny, man, because like one year for Christmas, I burned a CD for my wife of hair metal driving music, and I was like, I haven't made a CD for a girl in 20 years.
That's hysterical.
I barely remember how to do it, but